Okay, hello everyone. Good morning. This is Dipali Bhagwate. Thank you for joining us for the episode 2 of Vibha Talks. This is the series in our way of bringing you closer to the people and ideas driving Vibha's mission to educate, empower, and enable. This is more than just conversations, they are real stories of impact, challenges, and what it takes to build meaningful change. Today, we continue our conversation with Kshtij Neroorkar, Director of Projects and now board member at Vibha. In part one, we explored the evolution of Vibha's project strategy, how impact measurement has transformed our approach, and the importance of grassroots partnership in scaling meaningful change across 12 states in India. And that's awesome. If you haven't had chance to watch that yet, make sure you do because it sets the stage for today's deeper dive. Link for earlier part is in the description. Somewhere you will find below. Kshitij, thank you once again for joining. It's truly a pleasure continuing this conversation and uncover more about future vision, challenges, and personal reflections that shape your journey and Vibha's path forward. Welcome to this episode.
Thank you, Dipali.
Let's go to our first segment that we kind of say ki collaboration and ecosystem thinking. Last time we discussed about many partner organizations joining us, even the volunteers' contribution as Vibha is led by somewhere. So it started with the vision of the volunteers. So throughout this year, the Vibha's success is often attributed to the collaboration, which is great. But how do and the project team work with the partners at the grassroots level? Also, there are many volunteers like you are involved and our donors, so that to ensure that this project thrives throughout.
So, yeah, I mean, it's a very important question, right? I mean, we have so many different stakeholders. Like, I mean, it's not only our partners, but we have government officials, we have corporates through CSR, we have volunteers. We also have, of course, donors, individual donors who are, contributing towards the cause. And, the what happens is that all the stakeholders who are working with us, at the end of the day, they are looking at what their efforts are making, how their efforts are making a difference when it comes to the impact on a child, right, on the
Hmm.
child who is in the some rural location. Like, are their learning levels improving? Are they benefiting from whatever efforts? What are the positive improvements in their learning environment? So
Hmm.
at the end of the day, that is the one thing that holds all the stakeholders together, is the focus on that single goal, which is the
Hmm.
benefit to the child. So, when it comes to the government officials, they have, there are a lot of education initiatives which are regularly being introduced, and all the government, mechanism is working towards executing those initiatives. Corporates and individual donors are spending money. They want to see what is the impact. Volunteers, our volunteers are putting a lot of effort, raising money, or being part of the different teams within Vibha, which at the end of the day, whether it be marketing team or whether it be a fundraising team or projects team, right, all of them, the one thing that holds all of us together is the vision and mission of Vibha, which is to make a difference in the lives of those children who are going through their education journey. So what, the thing that holds all of these together is to make sure that we are regularly reporting back from the ground about the impact of our program. So, a regular reporting with each and every stakeholder on the progress of every single initiative that we are doing, and having objective KPIs and metrics to measure
Hmm.
what are the impacts we are creating on the ground. This is the most critical thing to hold all the stakeholders together and to make sure that we are all constantly working towards that, single-minded focus. So,
Focus.
I mean, we have been, I would say we have not been very good at this in the past. We have not had a very good way of reporting the metrics, and but we have been working a lot on this over the last year or so, and you, Dipali, have also been
Mm.
part of that journey. So we are improving. We are also developing our own dashboard, which will soon be coming online, and in which we will be able to show all our volunteers, our donors, and all our partners what every initiative which we are doing in different parts of India, how they are benefiting children, and what are the improvements that they are bringing about. So we are going in that direction, and we are improving every single day. But I think that is the final goal, to make sure that every stakeholder sees on the ground what is the impact of their own contribution towards Vibha, basically.
That's that's rightly said. By setting up all the system in place, maybe it's impact measurement through the dashboard or developing KPIs for the projects. This beautifully explains how trust, transparency, and this continuous dialogue between partner within the team, it's shaping and working strong for making this entire ecosystem very strong. Thank you for sharing
Correct.
that. So when we are working on ground and we have to coordinate with so many people, and you're doing that pivotal role, but it also often leads to challenges. Now, when you are handling challenges like delays in proposal or budget deviations, is there is any lesson or a story that stand out from a navigating such situation? That anecdote will help to understand.
Yeah, definitely there are challenges happen
Hmm.
very, very often, more often than we would like. But dealing with the challenges is part and parcel of
Correct.
working with these. So whenever we are working on these large projects which are scaled across large geographic areas,
Hmm.
and of course you have multiple stakeholders, many deviations can happen. For example, sometimes the leadership changes in the government. There is an election and the leadership changes, the political direction of that state changes, or some senior IAS officer is transferred. These are things that happen quite frequently, and so whenever that happens, we have to realign with the new leadership and also bring them on board on what our initiatives are doing. Sometimes, I mean, this I this one is a example of a disruption, but there also can be sometimes a positive deviation that happens. For example, we get an opportunity for for example, last year we were executing an English learning program in Andhra Pradesh, and some one of the IAS officers who is working in the ITDA department, the tribal department in Telangana, they came across our program through through social media, or they or through word of mouth, and they contacted us that we want to do a similar program in our location. And so that, I would say that is an opportunity for us to make a
Correct.
larger impact. But of course, it requires an additional budget and all, which we may not have planned for, right? So that is also a deviation which we need to keep in mind. So in general, we have a lot of processes within Vibha which we have developed over multiple years. And because of that, our program managers, who are are the actual doers of the programs
Hmm.
of every initiative in Vibha, they are constantly reviewing and monitoring every single initiative on which Vibha is doing. And because of that, what happens uh, whenever we sense that most of the deviations or disruptions, we get a sense a few months in advance that something like this is going to happen, or and so we can always plan for it. And so I think the key is to monitor programs continuously. We cannot be monitoring just at the beginning and the end of
Correct.
the year to see whether whether there is an impact. The programs have to be monitored continuously, and the pivot, I mean, if required, we need to be able to pivot and change direction slightly during the execution of the program itself, right? I mean, if there is a slight change which is required in our way of operation, or some model has to be slightly tweaked, we have to when we get that slight advance notice because of constant monitoring, it helps us in planning for those kind of things. So I think that helps a lot, because of these processes we are constantly in touch We have weekly, bi-weekly, or calls with
Hmm.
every single partner to make sure that that our managers have a sense of what's actually happening. And of course, sometimes no matter how much planning you do, things go out of hand. And luckily, Vibha is a very flexible organization.
Hmm.
I would say that our management in Vibha is extremely flexible, and if something like that happens, management has been very, very, very supportive in in allowing, for example, if there is some additional budget which is required, or something which we didn't plan for. Management is always flexible to accommodate those things. So that has been very helpful, to for us to be able to pivot whenever there are deviations or challenges which happen.
Hmm. Uh, like very, how should I say, the processes, the being a very structured organization, but at the same time acknowledging that we are evolving, we are making sure
Yes,
that we learn from our past lessons and keep learning. So,
correct.
highlighting the systems in the place, flexibility, being agile. This brings everybody. Like you have put everybody in that thread, like program managers or the management and the people working around it. They're all helping to make sure that we navigate through that situation, and we also go with other learnings. But when we are navigating the challenges, we have seen successes, we have seen some failures too, and we have learned through the lessons. And with your experience, now let's explore the future outlook and innovations. What Vibha is, excited. So, what excites you as a person who is working in Vibha from so many years and held it, like you have held a lot of position leadership roles. So, what excites you the most about Vibha's project pipeline in coming years?
So, what has happened is, over the last few years, we've, as we mentioned in the previous session which we had,
Hmm.
Viba has been, in the last 2 or 3 years, we've been focusing on working closer with governments,
Hmm.
closer, on large scale projects, working close with state departments, education departments, and things like that. So, initially, when we started working in this space, we were a new player, right?
Hmm.
So there was Vibha was someone who didn't have a reputation in this field, and so whenever we approached some state government, first of all, we didn't know what to offer,
Hmm.
how to initiate that discussion, and they also didn't know us because we didn't have any reputation, right? We had never
Hmm.
done this kind of work before, but after being in this in this space for the last 2, 3, 4 years, I see that slowly that trust is developing. Like, right, we
Hmm.
started with our Delhi program management unit. Then,
Hmm.
we got an opportunity to do a program management unit in Nagaland. And now this year we have one in Punjab,
Hmm.
and we are also starting work with the state department in few other states, coming soon. So, it's slowly I'm starting to see that this trust is developing, and also we have some kind of reputation that we have started to build, and because of that, I can see that, in the future, in the coming
Hmm.
immediate future, there are going to be a lot of opportunities for us to take on these kind of programs. And and there are a lot of areas where I feel that Vibha can contribute, like FLN, foundational literacy and
Hmm.
numeracy, has been a mainstay of our projects for many years. But in the last year or so, we've also started working in the areas of early childhood care and education, which is a
Hmm.
very, very very topic which is upfront on everybody's mind right now.
Hmm.
And STEM education, and also
Hmm.
digital literacy, these programs in the last few years, we've started working in these areas. And I can see that we are I think we are going to get a lot more opportunities, because we are slowly build that trust with the government officials, with state departments, also with corporates. as you mentioned in your earlier question, right, the
Hmm.
stakeholders. So we have started developing those trust, that trust with our
Hmm.
different stakeholders, and I think as we go ahead, a lot of opportunities are going to open up for us. I am very hopeful about that. As long as we continue working in the way that we are working, I think, yeah, I think it looks very interesting and very, I'm very hopeful.
Uh, you said about all other foundation, numeracy and literacy, you said about early childhood, you said digital, you said STEM
Them.
education. All these things, obviously, they are all linked to our national education policy, and
Exactly.
we are Vibha take very like we are pride we take pride, or we are proud that we are moving inch to inch, so that this national education we are trying to build that SDG 4 together somewhere. We might be a
Correct.
minister level help that we are able to, but ultimately, whatever you said, it's an opportunity for Vibha for to scale, to look for more models, maybe go
Yeah.
beyond our comfort zone, and see what things are in. Thank you for shedding light
Exactly.
on that. And if you have to mention any initiative which you see, apart from whatever you mentioned in this, is there is anything that you feel that we can focus, or is there is
Hmm.
any scope of more thematic areas for upcoming initiative? Anyone?
Yeah.
Uh,
So, as I mentioned, foundational literacy and numeracy has been the mainstay of our main
Correct.
focus for us, for a
Mm,
long time. And recently we have, started working in the area of early childhood education.
mm,
And, that is a very challenging field. I mean, it's a very, very important area to work with, but we have found it very, very challenging because
mm,
I mean, whenever we are looking for resources, I think everybody is learning about this field, and there are resources are very limited. People are developing, slowly developing the know-how on, these on this area, and I think this area is going to be very, very critical for us. And recently we've taken up few program projects which are focusing on early childhood education, and I think this is an area which I am very much, keen that, that to work on and to see what we can learn, and what kind of impact we can bring. The
mm,
other one is digital literacy, and this is something which got really boosted during COVID.
mm,
And I feel that, there are a lot of programs which are coming in the area of digital literacy, but to some degree I feel that, not I mean, some of them have some positive aspects. Like, for example, I will give you an example. Recently we were doing one program on digital literacy. It was more for higher grade children, and what we realized is that the children in those grades did not have their foundational literacy and numeracy skills up to the mark, and so they were, even though digital literacy was being offered to them, but they were not able to understand what was being taught, because their basic reading skills, basic numeracy was not up to the mark. So they had basically reached a higher grade without fulfilling the FLN competencies. So there are a lot of these kind of challenges which do come about with, in these areas. In digital literacy, I feel that we are going very fast in that space. Overall development is happening very fast, infrastructure wise also, and different kinds of models are coming. Lot of lot of models include AI and all, but I think,
correct.
so yeah, I mean, it is very difficult to figure out which are the approaches which will be more beneficial for the children. And so a lot of, I mean, it will take time for it to settle down, right? There's a lot of stuff happening in that space right now. So that is another one which I'm very excited, because we cannot go away from it. Digital literacy and access to digital, these uh, devices
Mm,
is not going away, right? It is a thing of the future. It is there right now, so we can't say that,
correct.
okay, I'm going to stop stop that. There are a lot of advantages, which come, like you can explain something very nicely if you have a good video which explains it, or some kind of AV tools and things like that. So digital literacy is amazing, but we have to figure out how to use it
Hmm.
properly, right? How, because what
Correct.
happens sometimes, when you're using AI, for example, it just goes onto the internet and looks for things. So sometimes if a child is searching using
Hmm.
text, just asking something to AI, and it might bring up something which maybe not appropriate for that child. There is a lot of stuff happening in this field, but we have to understand it better.
Hmm.
And another area which I'm very excited about, and this is something that we are not, this is more of a, we are going out of our comfort zone, and like you
Hmm.
mentioned in, while asking this question,
Correct.
we've recently taken up a project with the Punjab Development
Hmm.
Commission. It's focused on vocational training and skillability,
Hmm.
making sure that the children who are graduating from polytechnics are more employable, right? So they have
Yeah.
more industry collaborations, they have more internships, so the industry is involved in their education, or to make them job ready, basically. So we are working in that. This is something very new for us. We have never actually focused on this
Focus.
area, but I understand that the need is very
Correct.
high
Hmm.
in India right now for these kind of programs, which is why we decided to take it up. And this is something that I'm very excited about, because I think this, if we are able to successfully execute this program, it will be a huge learning for us. And I think we will look forward to taking up more programs in this space if if, yeah, if all goes well, basically.
All goes well only, but you have touched upon many important points. Basically, the first, taking care of formative year of children. Uh, Many says, Bill Gates also said, your brain develops there. So if ECCR
Hmm.
is something that we are targeting, like it's going to give us different experience in terms of even the foundational literacy part of it. Even it's a uh, pre-primary learning. When you said digital, there is obviously there is so much of information explosion that's happening. That's
Correct.
happening with AI. That's happening with different things. And if we are being in an organization which is so for the social cause, and we are taking that ownership of, we need to also be somebody who can guide and build such system which will be helpful for the generation to come in. And the third part you said about absolutely. That's very pain area. There are so many young people who are without jobs because of some or other reasons, but basic is because of the lack of skill building. And then we are jumping there and touching upon and going beyond SDG 4. That's beautiful. But to do everything, we know that Vibha volunteers or through certain programs, we try to raise the funds, but we are also pitching in towards, we are also building our CSR space. So when we are talking about partnership and innovations in that space, if you can spare a minute and explore what do you think, what are the CSR space we are trying to explore there?
In CSR, there is a um, lot of opportunity in CSR right now, because of course, lot of, and earlier, when I remember when we started, when the CSR program started, it was
Hmm.
more of a compliance thing for companies, right? They
Correct.
wanted to make sure they are compliant. But what I see is that over the years, companies have started taking lot of interest in their programs. They want
Hmm.
to make sure that the money that they are investing is going in the right programs. They want to make sure that their employees are engaging with whatever initiatives they are doing.
Hmm.
They have defined verticals, like depending on, sometimes it's depending on what the company does. For example, if it is an IT company, they will focus more on sometimes right, more on digital literacy or things like this. So so I think if so there is of change in the mindset in from the corporate point of view also. Earlier, a lot of companies used to focus more on short term projects, also which becomes a challenge for education type projects, because education, you cannot have short term projects to make any difference in education system. It takes at least 2 3 years minimum,
Mm.
right, I would say minimum 3 years.
Yeah,
So and so earlier times, corporates used to only focus on year by year projects, because that's how the
correct.
for CSR compliance purposes, right? So but
Mm.
I see that lot of this is changing. Corporates are more in now, getting involved, that they have CSR teams who want to make a difference, right? And they have similar mindset as to what we have in Vibha. And so to basically the most important thing is to find the corporates who have the similar alignment with us when it
Mm.
comes to our verticals, when it comes to our overall mindset, right? And once we have that and we build that trust with with that kind of corporate, then then I think both of along with the corporate, there is the horizon is really, I would say, we can do wonders together, and
Yes.
which is why we have started developing our CSR uh, program from I would say last couple of years. It was
Mm.
in the development stage, but now we've started really ramping up our
Right.
CSR
Mm.
team, and getting and approaching more companies who are more aligned, like who are working in education space, who understand the challenges of the education space. So they are looking for long term projects, and not just just for year on year. So yeah, I think CSR is a lot of potential for us, and we
Mm.
will be not only from the donation point of view, but as I said, because once the ideologies match, and we come to a common, I mean, we are both focused on the common goal, right?
Correct.
And that's why it kind of compounds whatever
Mm.
work we do.
Correct, correct. And as you said, ki every corporate when it has because we know India is the only country who has legalized CSR from
Correct.
2014. So, as you rightly said, every company has its own, whatever niche they are working, they will have CSR mandates for them. But having said that, they obviously have CSR, their own catchments area where their their companies are driving something. So maybe that is also one point where we can explore. So if we have similar line of focus, maybe we can grow from 12 states to more states with this
Exactly.
collaboration. So
Yes.
this cross-sector innovation models we can always look forward. Thank you for sharing that. We are moving towards our last segment, which is to your through your personal lens. So whatever journey you have till date, and we will continue the Vibha journey. Uh, what has that journey meant to you personally?
Uh, I think, working with Vibha for so many years, I think I have completed 12 years now with Vibha.
Mm-hmm.
So, it has been really enriching for me. I would say, I've started volunteering as part of a fundraising team here in Bangalore, and we used to do some events,
Mm-hmm.
cricket tournament and badminton tournaments, and
Oh,
we used
wow.
to do a running event to raise funds for Vibha, right? And after that, went become part of the projects team, which is the team that monitors the different projects, and manages the fund dispersal, and the basically overall monitoring of the different programs that we are doing. And in every every place that I mean, every part of Vibha that I've worked, the experience was different. But I think when I took on the responsibility of director of projects, which was a very important leadership role within Vibha,
Correct.
that is where, I got the opportunity to be part of deciding the strategy, for
Mm-hmm.
what new initiatives we want to take up, what is it, where should we invest our resources, and actually dealing with the work happening on the ground. So
Mm,
that is where I would say that that kind of experience that I have got in that, being part of the executive team, which was the national executive team, that has given me some experiences which I would say that are very, for example, leadership training, management, team management, finance, managing the finances, because we have to submit a budget for the entire year, and then make sure that that we stay within the budget.
mm,
Things like this, which I think leadership training of this type, you would people probably take, pay a lot of money and go
mm.
through courses to get this kind of leadership training,
Mhm,
because in my in my job I am not leading, I mean not managing people,
mm,
right? So I am not sure if I wanted to get this kind of experience, I would
mm.
have had to probably take up some management course or something like that. But through Vibha, the work that I've done through Vibha, I have got all these experiences, which I would say have helped me not only be part of Vibha more efficiently, but also in my personal life and my professional, also it has really helped me in developing my skills. So yeah, I think I would recommend to everyone that don't look at volunteering. I think volunteering can give you a lot more than
Lot of.
than what you think. So you should everybody should you know try to volunteer. I mean, I'm not saying for Vibha, but just try to
Anyway,
volunteer your time. You will learn. Of course, you will be making a big difference to the life of someone in through,
correct.
I mean, whatever small amount that your contribution does, but you yourself learn a lot and grow as a person, which
Person.
yeah, which can you cannot put a monetary value on that kind of learning actually.
That's awesome. It's emotional as well as there is very practical side of volunteering you explained, and how as a human you have grown through this process, and how um, as a professional outlook of it. Um,
Exactly.
Having said that, uh, we have a community of volunteers, donors, partners, our own team of people. What is that one message you would like to give to them?
uh, to Vibha, right? To Vibha volunteers. So
Volunteers, donors, partners, anybody, like
yeah.
a collective
Yeah, I
message.
think I feel that after having been in this area for such a long time, I think Vibha is very unique. I think the most important unique quality for Vibha is the volunteer driven nature of it.
Mm,
And which means that everyone, the pretty much the entire leadership team, apart from the team which is I mean the team which is working on the ground, and the director of operations and director of CSR.
mm,
Apart from that, the entire leadership team is our volunteers, right?
mm.
And so and all of them are held together by this one goal, which is to improve, which basically comes back to the first question which we did, right? So everyone is held together by the one goal, that we want to make a difference in the education environment of children, and there is no other focus for us, right? That is the single minded focus of the 1,000+ volunteers, the our ground team here, our donors, our corporate. That is the single minded focus of everyone. That's what holds us together, and I think that is the unique quality of Vibha. It is, we are not trying to sell. I mean, we are not trying to something, or we are not trying to do anything apart from that. At the end of the day, for us, that is the final goal. And I think this is very unique. This one goal is holding all of these people together, making them spend whatever 20, 30, 40 hours a week volunteering, right?
Yeah.
For Vibha, and putting in that effort and all to to make a difference. And so I think this is something we have to make sure that this continues. This feeling continuous, and everybody, all the volunteers have to get that sense at the end of the day that finally the organization is only focused on this one goal. And I think if they all keep it in mind, right,
Hmm.
then I think Vibha has a lot of potential to become a
A
much
lot.
bigger organization, to to create huge impact on children for many years to come. So I think that is the one critical thing that I feel everybody has to keep their eye on, that at the end of the day, nothing else matters, right? I mean, uh,
Correct.
the end
Absolutely.
goal is just one goal.
Yeah. And what do you want to say to donors and the partners?
For donors, I think we have, as I said again, for the donors also, we
Hmm.
have a single minded focus, Vibha, right? I mean, it's not like we are trying to we do have some overheads in which which are required, right? I mean, we
Hmm.
have to pay some salaries, we have to do, but apart from that, everybody in Vibha
Hmm.
is only focused on the children. So whatever the donors want, right? I mean, the donors basically want to donate money and make sure that they get, that their money is being used in the right way, and
Correct.
is being invested in the right project. And with Vibha, I think that is our focus
Hmm.
completely, right?
Correct.
Because it's not like we want to make money. It's not that, and none of us are, all our volunteers, as I said,
Hmm.
so many, thousands of volunteers, none of us are in it for anything apart from that one goal. So I would say, to the donors, whatever money or whatever contribution made in kind, or in terms of cash or money or whatever, it is going to go, we will make sure that it goes for that one single purpose, because
Perfect.
that is the single minded purpose of our organization. And I think that I cannot give any more
Yeah, yeah.
right. uh, yeah.
Yeah. So when we talk about donors or partners, first of all, round of applause to all volunteers. And from my side, thank you so much for being there, for being building this entire Vibha. To our partners, thank you for partnering with us, trusting us, and making sure that we are having the share vision and we are growing together. Donors also, it's you that you are helping. Through you we are making Vibha's work to go to the ground level, where Kshitij rightly said that it is for that one vision that we want to make that child's journey as beautiful as possible. As he will become grow, he will remember Vibha as a part of his life, though that every child must not be knowing that what Vibha is doing, but that the thought is that we should do it for the children. Any last words, Kshatij, before we close for this interview?
No, I think you summarize it really well. I think the volunteers, the donors, the government
Partners.
officials, they are the ones who make Vibha actually what it is.
Yeah.
Right. At the end of the day, we cannot do what we do without every single volunteer putting in their effort to raise whatever amount of money, or if they are in marketing, then getting the word across. Every single
Any.
volunteer who's in different departments across Vibha is making a huge impact. And the donors, whatever amount of money that they are able to donate based on their personal capacity, each and every dollar or rupee counts, helps us to empowers us to do what we are doing here, right? I mean,
True.
because they are supporting us, because they have our back, is
Correct.
that our management can be flexible, we can be we are so comfortable in doing these
Hmm.
programs. Even sometimes we face, as one of your questions, we do face some challenges and
Correct.
all, but we are able to overcome them because we know that we have a huge team which has our back, right? So they are
Correct.
supporting us always. So I think, I think you summarize it really well. We need every single one of these stakeholders, and at the end of the day, we need all of them to have that single-minded focus. I think that is the critical one message if has to come out of this. interview. It has to be that.
Thank you, Kshtij. Thank you once again for being so open, thoughtful, and grounded in your approach. This conversation gives us a chance to pause, reflect, and really understand the heart behind this entire work. To everyone who is watching, thank you. Your support, your energy, and your trust are what keep this movement going. The road ahead is still taking shape. The plans are still evolving. New ideas are coming, and sometimes the things change along this way. But that's how the real change happens, by staying committed, staying curious, and walking forward one step at a time. At Vibha, we are not just supporting projects; we are shaping what's next. And we do it by saying, rooted in our mission to educate, empower, and enable. There is more to share: stories, experiment, fresh perspective. In the next episode of this Vibha Talk series, we will dig into what's emerging for Vibha and in the education sector. We don't have it all figured it out yet, but that's exactly what makes the journey worth following. Until then, thank you for being part of the story. Let's keep building futures together. Stay tuned for such more conversation and do share your thoughts in the comments.
Thank you.
Thank you.